Can't worry about it.
Unless they expedite it.
It's
I want to go in the post if it's
Okay.
over 25.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock, let's call the meeting to order, December 13th, 2022, Polk County, in the Regional Health Building Suite A. At this time, if you would, please make sure you silence any of your cell phones and other devices. And we would like to ask Reverend Brian Wharton from Onalaska First United Methodist Church, so please lead us in prayer.
Won't you bow with me? Gracious and merciful God, give to us just a moment now to pause and to remind ourselves that you are present. As we enter in this morning, we ask your blessing upon all those here who have taken the role of leader in this community. We pray your blessing of discernment and wisdom upon them. Lead them and guide them in all their thinking. We who gather as citizens to hear this meeting, remind us too that we are called, not simply just to sit, not simply to ask and to take, but also to offer our lives up in service of the community. We thank you then, O God, that you have called us all here for purpose. Help us to be mindful of that. Help us to be kind in our words. Help us to be thoughtful. Help us to keep you before us in all things. This is our prayer in Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, public comments. We have 3 people that signed up for public comments. Since we're doing the hearing on those same agenda items, do you just want to roll into the public hearing, which will allow for exchange of information? I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other public comments other than items 18 and 19? No, ma'am. Very well, then let's go on into the public hearing. What time is it, Madam Clerk? 10:02. Okay, now we're in the public hearing, which is to receive public comment on the proposed subdivision regulations. Notice of this hearing was published in the Polk County Enterprise. Let me double check myself on 18 and 19. On November 13th, 2022, a copy of the proposed subdivision regulations may be viewed on the county website. A copy of the takings impact assessment may be viewed on the county website also. Commissioners Court will consider approval of the plan during the regular session to be held at 10 a.m. following this public hearing. And the hearing will start at 10:02. I'm going to go ahead and back up and do the public comment and let these gentlemen speak. But allow for any exchange of information since they're kind of related. Items 18 and 19 are kind of related to subdivision regulations. Okay, who wants to go first?
Well, my only question was regarding the approval of our subdivision and what kind of comments we may get back from the commissioner in regards to the maintenance bond. That's really all I was wanting to speak on.
Okay,
Other than that, subdivision regulations, I don't have any.
any comment on those? Okay, so do you want to go ahead and address us in terms of the maintenance bond pertaining directly to you?
We can. The letter that we got back from the county engineer stated that since all construction was paid for, wasn't all necessarily complete, but since it was paid for, the construction bond or construction surety was not required.
Correct.
But instead, he would request that a maintenance bond be applied to the construction. We don't know the value of this maintenance bond that he's requested. Moreover, we request that potentially that be waived with the fact that it will be a private road maintained by JPR Investments, at least for the next 2 years, and the Rolling Pines POA moving forward. So that
Okay.
was.
Okay, that's something to take under consideration. Anyone
Okay.
else? Same?
We're good.
Very well, thank you. Okay, do we have anyone that has presented themselves for the subdivision regulations? Nope. What time is it? 10:05. I want to go ahead and close the subdivision
Sure.
hearing. Okay, so a motion to close.
Second.
Commissioner Vincent, Commissioner Curtis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I'll use the super pen. This one's running out of ink. Okay, item number 5. Oh, no. Okay, we got it. What time did we close?
10:05.
Okay, item number 5, consider any and all necessary action to adopt the proposed regulations as follows. There were some changes made, but basically it was correcting some, adding definitions, plat copy requirements, submitting plats digitally so that these gentlemen do not have to make copies every time. And that way it could be reviewed easier. And then corrected some typos and references to statute. So the addition of guidelines for replatting was included because that was a source of confusion. And then we removed the RV tiny home parks to a separate document. And then changing the lot size for the developments with individual water wells and or septic system. We're staying with the 1 acre minimum for septic systems if they have a water system, and then going to a 2 acre minimum for if they have septic and water. Gary Ashmore with the water development, with our underground water, said that has become a huge issue, that because people, the lay of the land or where someone locates their home is often too close to the water well or to the septic system of the adjoining property owner. So that's really the only time that we're seeing some issues. And then recreational vehicle parts and manufacturing home rentals, community regulations, same things that we discussed last time that the court approved. Because they are not subdividing land, then we broke the regulations out to a separate document, which would make development and review process earlier. We had to include all of the statutory responsibilities that are given to us, and so that puts some time constraints on the commissioners, and we're aware of that. But we were able to loosen some of those time constraints up based on statute for RV parks, but not for the small home, manufactured home rental communities. So these are basically the things we discussed last time. Are there any issues? You received all of this in your packet.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet, second, Commissioner Robertson. Any other questions or concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, information reports, Polk County Recycling and Beautification, their yearly report. Carrie's one of their volunteers, so she's gonna present for them.
Good morning. I am speaking today on behalf of Polk County Recycling and Beautification to give a report on the recycling program. As you know, PCRB is the nonprofit organization that you all have partnered with to run the recycling program for the community. The recycling center was built and equipped last year, and we have recently opened the Onalaska drop-off site as well. In just over a year, we have collected almost 100,000 pounds of materials. We have sold about 62,000 pounds of materials, and we have made almost $4,000 in revenue. That is just over 6 cents per pound if you like to do the math. That's covered about 14% of operational costs for PCRB. We are about halfway to our next load of cardboard and our first load of plastic. So, may the market for these materials be booming when we are ready to sell. The recycling center on Highway 146 at the Citizen Collection Station is open Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 to 3 and Saturdays from 9 to 2. This facility takes corrugated cardboard, aluminum cans, steel cans, and all single-use household plastic except for styrofoam. And also plastic grocery bags and other film like plastic, shrink wrap. The Citizen Collection Station on Alaska Loop has a recycling drop-off that is open on Wednesdays from 10 to 2 and takes everything that the 146 site takes except for steel cans. It is free to drop off these recyclable materials at both sites, but they will only be accepted if they are clean, since drink and food residue can leave stinky nasties and attract pests, and we don't want that at the facilities. Materials really should also come pre-sorted, since most of the sorting is done by hand by volunteers. We estimate that up to 4% of Polk County households are using the facility, or have so in the last year. And as the population that takes advantage of this service grows, more material will be coming in. The number of regular volunteers has not increased over the last 9 to 10 months. So while pre-sorting is not currently required, it may become required in the future. PCRB has one paid employee. He is the operations manager coordinating all activities at both the recycling center and the recycling drop-off, from managing volunteers to baling and storing materials to handling all transport and many other things. A portion of his salary was paid this year by a TCEQ grant that Polk County received via DECCOG, and hopefully TCEQ will approve that grant to be continued next year. We in fact had an inspection yesterday. DECCOG and TCEQ representatives came out and visited with the operations manager and myself. They were very impressed with the facility that the county has provided, partially with grant funds from TCEQ through this grant program. They were impressed with the variety of materials that we collect, the order and cleanliness of the operation. It smells wonderful compared to others, and the reach of our recycling program within its first year. I have to give the biggest thanks to all of the volunteers that are making this program a success. Without them, PCRB could not provide this service. The operations manager has 14 volunteers that volunteer regularly at the recycling center, which is either every week or every other week. 6 volunteers that operate the recycling drop-off in Alaska, and a handful of others that help out when they can. So I can attest personally that recycling is fun and rewarding. Volunteering at the recycling is fun and rewarding. PCRB has many other opportunities to volunteer outside of the center, so anyone that is interested can visit the recycling center or the website pcrbtexas.org to learn more and sign up. I also want to thank PCRB board members and the members of this Commissioners Court for your support and being committed to this recycling program. I believe this first year was very successful and look forward to seeing the organization and the recycling program grow in the years to come. And I invite those that want to participate to reach out. Do y'all have any questions?
Any questions? Thanks.
I think y'all doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have received very good feedback from the community, and being able to go out there and utilize it and not having to throw everything in the dump.
Source reduction.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is. Presentation of the Polk County Safety Committee Excellence in Safety Award for 2022. I believe the young lady's present.
Good morning.
Morning.
The Excellence in Safety Award was added to the safety program in 2015 by the Commissioners Court. It is a $250 gift card that is awarded to an employee in December of each year. The award must go to an employee that has been nominated by their department head or direct supervisor, is a full-time employee employed by the county for no less than 1 year with no breaks in service, has not had any major safety violations or lost time accidents within 1 year of nomination, is current on all required safety training, and in the award application, the department head or direct supervisor had to demonstrate how the employee has gone above and beyond to improve and or promote safety on behalf of his or her department and or the county. This year, the safety committee selected Sherilyn Epperson. In the Justice of the Peace Precinct Number 2 office to receive this award.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Sherilyn, why don't you turn picture of you with Courtney. How about that?
Yes, ma'am. According to Sherilyn's supervisor, Judge Sarah Raspberry, Sherilyn shows exemplary safety practices in the work environment by helping to keep her coworkers safe and educated on monthly safety trainings. She has used her knowledge and previous work experience as a safety officer to improve courtroom safety and security. We'd like to say congratulations to Sherilyn, and whenever it is convenient for the court, we'd like to get a picture.
Okay.
Thank
Come on
you.
up here.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Her knee injury had nothing to do with it.
I was gonna say, the irony is, she lives up here to get her safety award.
That's right.
Amber, you'll come,
Come on,
with the
Amber.
safety committee and Judge Raspberry.
Sarah about having her false pretenses.
Sarah.
It's the only way that I could get you here.
Y'all gonna need to squeeze in.
Squeeze. Side please there. Thank you. Thank y'all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you all.
And just as an end note, we encourage all elected officials and department heads to nominate employees in their department for the FY 2023 award.
Thank you. Okay, I have another information report that I added. First of all, we want to recognize that we have 4 long-term elected officials that are retiring this year from Polk County. Darrell Longino, a long-term JP, Lee Hahn, a long-term district attorney, and these 2 guys. So, we would like to recognize them. Carrie, can you bring us, we figured that what they could possibly use best in retirement.
Who's gonna sit it right here? Well, just so you can look at it.
Awesome, yeah.
So, we got both of you your cooler that has the Polk County logo on top of it. And not to be outdone, since Polk County Recycling and Beautification got started under your watch, then we thought you could also use a cup
Thank you.
with their
Thank
logo
you, I
on it
appreciate you.
as well. So, we'll just kind of tip this so everybody can see. So that's what's on top of their ice chest. For soda while he goes fishing. Okay, so thank you all for your service, both of you. It's been a pleasure to work with you all, and I think we've done a lot of good work, and I appreciate it.
Likewise.
Very good, that's right.
I would like to say it's been a pleasure. I hate to see y'all go, but I'm tickled y'all are getting retired. And it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all's friendship.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Bill, we've all hashed it out. It's always kind of been for the betterment of the county, I thought.
Yep.
Gotten a lot of good things
We
done.
we accomplished some stuff, some things we've had to, like we said the other day, I'd rather us be on the civic center than a jail and a judicial center, but we had to do what we had to do
Well, we're
at
on
the
the
time.
Commerce Center in the college. so
Well, we
maybe
did
that'll
that, that's
counteract
one
it.
good thing there, that's another positive deal. That is
Discussion over
positive.
whose name is on which building.
Yeah, but
Tommy
anyway.
didn't want to be the jailer or the trash man.
Anyway, we've done what we could with what we've had to do with.
Amen.
Absolutely, so thank y'all very much.
been a good ride.
For your service.
Thank y'all. Wish y'all luck.
It's gonna be good.
They're only a phone call away, and we're still gonna have a meeting next.
I was gonna say that,
This
you know,
month.
if we're in town,
No. That was not a question.
Ain't no pressure no more, is it?
It's not a question.
What was that,
Okay.
block, JR?
That's right.
Block.
Okay, item number 7, new business, your consent agenda, you have addendums on B. Addendum number 1 in the amount of $112,398.92. Addendum number 2 in the amount of $2,540.16. Addendum number 3 in the amount of $241,342.97. Addendum number 4, $24,112.10. Addendum 5, $13,794.33. Addendum number 6, $114,685.25. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody would like to pull? No changes? Motion to approve,
I
Commissioner
second.
Vincent, second Commissioner Robertson. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, consider approval of personnel matters as follows. Listing of the PAFs was included in your packet. Review and consideration of personnel action form requests submitted since the last meeting, and review of any authorized emergency hiring. We had 3 emergency hires, all at the county clerks.
So moved. Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Overstreet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, consider requests for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. This is the closing out of the FY 2022 budget. So the FY 22 budget revisions and the FY 2022-2023 budget amendments is presented by the County Auditor's Office. So a copy of the proposed revisions, number 2023-05, and amendments 2022-25A and 2023-05A was included for your review. Some of you all asked that we provide you kind of like a summary of some of the amendments that have to be made. The food inmates line item went over budget, which is no surprise to anybody, given the state of the economy during that time, and it went over by over $13,000. But revenue, projections for the inmate phone revenue line item was certified to cover that expense. Hotel motel occupancy tax revenue came in above projections, and so the amount paid out in distributions to the Commerce Center and the Chamber of Commerce were increased proportionately. Those funds have to be spent on something that promotes tourism in the area. And so we have a percentage that goes to the Commerce Center and a percentage that goes to the Chamber of Commerce. Grant revenues and expenses have been adjusted accordingly, since those are difficult to project. The TAC HEBP surplus distribution came in above projections, and so they were certified to pay a past due balance. The DA's hot check fund balance was utilized to cover an expense paid from that fund in FY 2022 because no funds were received into that fund. So that account line item it's becoming obsolete. Let's face it, people don't use checks anymore. They use credit cards, debit cards, cash. At one time, if you will recall, that was a $2,500 expenditure just in software to keep up with that balance. So it was not exactly averaging out when you had a software that was programmed that was $2,500, and the income that software utilized was $163. So we're glad that's gone. Okay, do I have a motion to approve revisions and amendments?
So moved.
Commissioner Overstreet?
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 10, consider requests for capital purchases to be paid from the general fund balance and included on the FY 2023 reimbursement resolution for year-end issuance of legally authorized debt as follows. 1, aftermarket equipment on 6 leased vehicles for the Sheriff's Department in the amount of $97,283.46. The FY 2022 budget, was where those vehicles were included. But since they were not completed until November, then the equipment must be passed on to the FY 2023 budget. So it can't stay in FY 2022. So it's our recommendation that we go ahead and pay this from the general fund balance and include it in the 2023 reimbursement resolution. So we're just transferring it from one year to the next. So a copy of that invoice was included for your review. Motion to approve,
Second.
Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Overstreet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. B, information technology tech rotation in the amount of $10,908. The scheduled computer rotation was included in the FY 2023 capital purchase projections in the amount of $39,840. So this approval will go over the amount approved by $1,248. And basically what IT is requesting is we had 7 tough books that were scheduled in there for the sheriff's office to be replaced this year. There's a new model out that is more expensive but more efficient and cheaper for us to mount for the deputies to use, and it'll balance the expense out over time. So that comes from IT.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Robertson.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Overstreet. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I do have to say that this rotation of technology has really worked out well, because then the court doesn't get hit with, bam, all of a sudden $150,000, in debt, whereas having this continuous rotation, it keeps obsolete technology out and allows us to maintain a good sequence. Bless you. Number 11, discuss and if necessary, consider adoption of order regulating certain fireworks in the unincorporated areas of the county during the December holiday period. So we've included all the documentation for that. It's a statutory requirement that we bring it to the court. After the gully washer, I'm not sure we need a recommendation from our fire marshal.
Let them pop.
Let them pop. Commissioner Overstreet.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Vincent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, consider approval of appointments to Polk County Historical Commission Board for the 2-year term of 2023 and 2024. A listing of the current County Historical Commission members, which includes the 2023-2024 term, was included for your review. Is there anyone that you all would like to add to that recommendation? One of the recommendations was for Ms. Wooten, Emily to be added, and Laverne Taylor, I believe, were the 2 that were recommended.
She good with it?
How many can they have? Oh, this is to fill 2 vacancies.
No, they can have more. They can have more. If you have someone that is interested, then you just need to let us know.
Yeah, I think both of them are outstanding
Absolutely.
ladies, so I wouldn't want to deny them a seat on that board.
Nobody's gonna be denied a seat. You can add people.
Well, let's add them.
Let's add 'em.
That's a motion.
That's a
Second.
motion. Commissioner Overstreet, Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, consider approval to renew memorandum of understanding between Polk County and Polk County Precinct 1 Constable to provide Constable Reserve Deputy Patrol in Precinct 1. He's requested the approval, the renewal of an MOU, which is included for your review. The proposed renewal will increase Mitch Newman's hourly compensation from $20 an hour to $30 an hour for 32 hours per week for patrol services in Polk County Precinct 1, so long as funding is available in the seizure funds account. The Commissioner's Court has approved the funds for this purpose, and so basically all he's doing is modifying the amount. And at this time, he has $139,000 available in his asset forfeiture funds, so it would be covered.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Robertson. Who was on the second? Commissioner Vincent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss and consider any and all necessary action regarding the new boundary lines for Segno, Alabama Coshada, and Indian Springs Volunteer Fire Departments. We received the 911 addressing correspondence from all of those departments and agreeing to the change in the boundary lines, and a copy of that correspondence along with updated map was included in your packet for your review.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Overstreet, second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, consider approval to authorize the purchase of equipment for the recycling center from Waste Management Fund balance to be reimbursed by grant proceeds. Keep Texas Recycling has received funds from Coca-Cola Southwest Beverage Company to use in East Texas to support local recycling programs. And in return, Coca-Cola will receive all of the number 1 plastics collected at the location where the funding is utilized. A quote for a yard ramp was included for your review in the amount of $15,400. This will approve it, and then we will get reimbursed by the grant.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Vincent. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 16, consider any and all necessary action regarding the request to Texas Department of Transportation for county acceptance of reclaimed asphalt wrap. So, this needs to be discussed because the allotment is $24,135. So any material that is not requested by the county, in which it is stockpiled, will be made available to other counties. So at this time, we have basically requests from everybody, right? So my recommendation is going to be that it simply be distributed along the same way that road and bridge revenue is distributed.
It's the way we've always done it in the past.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. Commissioner Overstreet, Commissioner Robertson, any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 17, consider approval of a request from Pinwall Marina, Precinct 2, for exemption from the Polk County RV Parks regulation. Pinwall Marina has been there for 30 years or more, and they're requesting an exemption to the development plan requirement for 3 RV sites that they were adding. And basically what they're doing is they're adding the RV sites, but they're removing what was there. So it was a mobile home, a carport, and storage, and so the infrastructure already exists. They're just talking about replacing that. So, Commissioner?
My recommendation to the court is to grant the variance. I visited with TRA because they're over the septic, and that's the only thing that could be affected by it. The Chico's already installed the other meters. They're taking out an eyesore and adding 3 spots. The 3 RV spots will use less water than what the 1 mobile home spot would, as far as what they're allowed per. I think mobile home is allowed 180 per day is what TRA is telling me, and the RV spots are only 40 per day, and he only allows them to be there Thursday through Sunday, so they can never be there full time.
On the mobile home, it just depends on the side. If it's 3-bedroom, it's 240 gallons per day. So
Okay.
anyway, it's less either way you look at it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So
so it comes
TRA
to-
was good with it also.
Okay, so it comes as a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
So Commissioner Overstreet, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 18, consider request for variance from the Polk County subdivision regulations for Rolling Pine Section 3, Block 3 subdivision located in Precinct 2 to waive the construction bond requirement. The developers of Rolling Pines have requested a variance for the construction requirement because all roads, water lines, and drainage have already been completed. Commissioner Vincent?
I think we should grant the waiver for the construction bond. I guess the question that came up earlier was on the maintenance bond, and I think in the past, and I stand to be corrected on this, but whenever they were behind a gated subdivision, I don't think that we required the maintenance bond.
Okay, so let's do 18.
Nope.
And that will allow us to move on to 19.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you're bringing it as a motion to the court that we grant the variance for,
The construction
The
bond,
construction
roads have
bond?
already been completed, I've seen them put in, they've done a good job.
okay.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now, number 19, consider approval upon conditions met or rejection of Rolling Pine Section 3, Block 3 subdivision. Copy of the recommendation letter from GLS is included for your review. Maintenance bond, if one is not received prior to the meeting, so Commissioner Vincent, how would
Well,
you?
my thought on this, it's gonna be behind the gate, it's gonna be private, okay? So they can't be taken over by the county at any time. So I don't understand why we would require a maintenance bond now if we haven't required it in the past.
Okay, behind the gate,
It's gonna be
and I
behind
don't
We
have.
just need to make that clear, it's behind the gated.
It's behind the gate and it will be
It's
private,
in the
and by
future.
Texas law, it cannot be taken over by the county at any time regardless.
Yeah,
And I
But
don't
we
know,
don't want-
I don't know exactly what the subdivision regs say.
yeah, but we don't want other developers to get an idea that we're gonna waive this maintenance bond on the one that's a public road.
That could be a public road.
That could be a
This is
public
gonna
road.
be, this is gated just like Rolling Pines 1 and 2 is also.
Yep,
Yeah, have private combination.
Yeah, there's already been a precedent set.
yeah, I understand, but I just don't want other developers to make sure that think they can get a variance on their road construction bonds.
Okay, so that.
Well, no, it's not the construction, it's the maintenance.
Maintenance
It's a
bonds,
maintenance,
yeah,
maintenance.
maintenance bonds,
Yeah.
2-year deal.
And like I said, they've already built their roads.
Yeah.
The roads are already
Water,
built, that's right.
everything, so-
Yeah, yeah, and it will be gated.
Okay, so it comes as a motion.
Yes.
Second,
Motion Commissioner Vincent, second Commissioner Overstreet, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 20, discuss any and all necessary action regarding the ARPA funds. The American Rescue Plan Act, which was signed into law in March of 2021, allocated $9,974,718 to Polk County, which gave us a historic opportunity to fund projects to improve the quality of life throughout the county. So to date, the court has dedicated funds to broadband and communications, which was approximately $327,000. We allocated money to water infrastructure projects for those eligible systems that did not meet the LMI requirements for the Harvey Regional Mitigation Funding in the amount of $2,414,000 approximately dollars, and courtroom technology in over $155,000. Basically, what we were able to do, because all of that ARPA funds, all of those monies could have been utilized just in those areas. But what we were able to do, because Jessica was able to parlay some of those grants and figure out which portions had to come out of ARPA funds, which portions could come out of Harvey mitigation funds. And as you all well know, we did basically our own grant program. We did our own RFP and we did our own grant program, and it's been very, very successful. So what that leaves us with now is that we have approximately $1 million that can be committed to other eligible projects that are deemed appropriate by the court. And that would leave us a small cushion for any projects that might run over budget. We've received requests for funds from the county and district clerks for records restoration and preservation. We've received requests from our local ambulance service providers for automated CPR devices and various projects for each of the commissioners. And so what we would like to do is, because of the short time period that we have to expend these dollars, then what we would like to do is be able to commit that money. I have some suggestions. The district clerk does not receive any funding. Basically, any permanent funding that allows her to move forward with preservation of records. Preservation of historic records is one of the things that was listed on the ARPA list of approved monies. The county clerk has a slight advantage, but she too needs some money for records preservation. We have 2 ambulance services that serve the county, one that we have a contract with, that the county has a contract with, and then the other one provides additional services as well. And then we also have our volunteer fire departments. We did give our volunteer fire departments some monies initially, to use as they saw fit. So, certainly all this is up for grabs. I think if we could give the district clerk, around $140,000, and then give the county clerk $60,000, and then provide the ambulance service, the one that we contract with, $70,000, and our other ambulance service, $30,000, to buy the automated CPR devices, and then provide each of the volunteer fire departments with $10,000 for a total of $100,000. And then take the remaining $600,000 and split it up amongst the commissioners. But we do need to have specific projects. You can't just say, well, I'm just putting it in materials or over here. It would need to be.
How much money would it be for the road and bridge?
Y'all would split $600,000.
$600,000.
How you all choose to do that, is up to you. If you wanna do it along the same lines as we do the budget, then we can certainly do that.
But it has to go on specific projects.
For documentation purposes,
Sounds good
for
to me.
auditing purposes,
How long do we have to let you know this?
you can let us know by next meeting, if you have things that you already know, because the timeline is so short. See, the timeline is so short, the monies must be expended or certainly committed by the end of next year, is that correct?
I think so.
Yes, by the end of next year, we have to be rolling. And we have taken care, I do have to say that this court has done a fabulous job. We have taken care of all the major needs. We are now going to be fully connected with fiber, which is a huge economic boom for small businesses. So we're gonna have fiber north to south, all the way up and down Highway 59, east to west on 287, east to west on 190. And so all of that is huge for economic development. And most of all, it's huge for all of our children, for all of our school children. Because every school will now be connected. We won't have any more children that can't do their homework because they don't have the technology. I knew this was when math was gonna start.
Judge, may I ask a question?
Sure.
On this, can it be utilized for the safety of the offices within the county, the sub-offices?
We've committed funds for most of those offices, and so at this point in time, we need to go ahead and let the commissioners go ahead and they can decide what to do in their precincts.
Correct.
Regardless, I mean, it can be an office, it can be
Okay.
a road project or a bridge or whatever that commissioner
Okay.
elects to do. If you have a specific office need, then that should be going through capital projections.
Okay.
So at the next budget round, just let me know. I mean, we already redid your office, right? Because of safety concerns and kind of. made some
Inside the courtrooms, yes.
Yes,
Not
ma'am.
out in the parking
I
lots.
think what she might be alluding to is that we have a parking situation that we would like to secure, for the employees of, Road and Bridge Precinct 2, namely Dana, and as well as the ladies that are at the JP's office, because of where they're having to park and going in and out and having to have interaction with the people that they have passed judgment on. And so we have a spot over there to the left-hand side that we could secure that would be
And
relatively
that
inexpensive.
is not a problem at all.
Okay.
but it doesn't necessarily have to be included in your ARPA funds if you choose to do that. That is something that we can take care of through capital projections. So again, it depends on what you think, you know,
I'll put
what
some
you
numbers
decide.
together.
Put some numbers together, and whatever you all decide are your projects, then that's where we will start.
You need mine today?
Yeah, you can give me yours today,
New office building.
okay?
Remodel the current one out. We've been working on that in the past. And so that's what we need.
Okay.
More than anything, more room.
Okay. So go ahead and get to work on that, and,
Jay's got the plans.
okay, Jay?
Same
Go back
spot,
and say
Jay.
yes, we don't have to give you.
No, I don't have to have, what I do need to know is if you all, what you wanna do in terms of the numbers, in terms of the distribution, that I do need to know.
We need, on that 600,
Just divide it like we always do.
Yeah.
Okay.
by the percentage.
So are you okay with the
Maybe
others?
since y'all are leaving, y'all just let me go.
That's a good idea.
3 weeks.
Well, I'm not, I don't think I would do that to my man coming in.
I don't blame
Say
you.
that.
We wouldn't do it to him either.
No.
So, I just know the need. I mean, I'm not jumping the gun on this, it's just I know the need out there for more room.
And that's
No.
fine.
The only fair way to do it is like we always do.
Okay, we'll do it like you always do
I'll
it.
make that motion.
Are you
Second.
okay? Okay, are you okay with the others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have one question on, we got one ambulance service that does our 911 doesn't cost the county anything.
Neither one of us didn't cost the county.
Anything, and others private.
Those are both private.
911 provider though.
But our 911 provider is the one that would receive enough to have 7
Yeah, I
automated
see that.
CPR devices.
And what about the fire department part? How much money was it? What are,
Give each of them $10,000 and they can decide what. We will have to know how they're spending it eventually, but for now, $10,000 to buy equipment or whatever they need.
I would say that we probably, okay, but I think they could also, better themselves by one of these. I don't know the state of the art, exactly what these are on the IEDs.
Automated
Yeah, automated CPR.
And I
They're
visited with
pretty good,
Justin.
cause I know Livingston's getting a lot more CPR calls and some of us are getting on the scene prior to.
And I did discuss it with Justin, and he said, but it requires some very specific training.
Yeah, okay.
And so
yeah.
that's the issue, because I
Okay.
did discuss it with him about
Okay.
maybe we would just say we're gonna buy CPR devices for everybody across the board. But he
Well,
said
you
the
answered-
training might be an issue.
Yeah, you answered my question. You gotta be certified to operate.
Something like that.
Yep, okay.
Okay, so you were my original motion, does that hold? Who was the
He
original
was,
motion?
Bill was.
Commissioner Purvis, and then Guy Lee. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Overstreet?
Goes to adjourn, oh, just a second edition, all right.
Very well, what time is it, ma'am?
10:48.
10:48. Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas to you all that are not gonna be dedicated enough to show up on the 27th.
I like the way we looked at the end of the agenda.